And so, quite some time ago, when I first started doing all this, I was very drawn to a particular group of angels. And this particular group of angels are associated with the theosophical belief in the rays. Are you all familiar with the 7 rays? The rays are basically the colours of the rainbow, the 7 vibrational rays, each of which has divine beings and an essence which we come in on, a vibration that we arrive on when we decide to come here. And I quite liked the idea of this because I've always liked the number 7. It happens to be one of my birth numbers. I've always liked the idea, well, we used to think there were 7 major planets, the 7 chakras. I used to like the idea of 777 being a magical, mystical number. And the idea of 7 archangels particularly nicely. But I was a little bit worried in case I was barking up the wrong tree, not going with the right truth. We become seekers, don't we? We become seekers, and then we're avidly soaking up information, trying to find all the right things. And I was already running workshops because I'd done a Healing of Angels course in 1997, I think, somewhere around there, 96, 97. And so I was doing workshops with the facilitator who taught me the angel course. And I wanted some proof. And you know, when you get to that point where everything you do, you want a sign to show you that you're going in the right direction. So I was walking around a bookshop, a little place called Southsea, and I walked into this amazing section of the shop, full of crystals, full of candles, and books all along the wall. And there were a group of books, white books with gold letters, and they just called to me. And this was a book, a particular book that I took, was called Beloved Archangels Speak. And I had become a little bit disillusioned with some of the angel books that were out. They all seemed to be saying similar stuff, but they didn't say where they got it from. And I needed somebody to be a bit more scientific maybe, or honest. I wanted somebody to say that they'd taken this information from this resource and this information from that resource. Or that it was channeled, but most of the books that were coming out didn't say anything like that. They just filled it with loads of information and didn't say where they got it from. But this book was written in 1953, and it said, channeled, channeled. And I thought that was fine. My mother had been channeling since I was a tiny tot. I was quite used to that word. And so I read it. And each one of these 7 chapters was one of the same 7 archangels that I had been teaching people about. So I was very, very happy. This for me was a sign that I was doing the right thing, or a version of the right thing, and everything was fine. So those are the 7 archangels that I am still telling people about. I am still tapping into that energy. I am still being guided by that energy. And there are 1 or 2 others that I've since learned a lot more about. So, for example, I was standing in a little pub in Cardiff, and I've been doing a workshop all about the 7 archangels that I talk about, and some huge great guy standing at the bar turned to me and said, "Why are you leaving one out?" And I hadn't got a clue what he was talking about. Didn't know him from Adam. And he said, "Who do you think you're working with?" Great big Rastafarian guy, I never set eyes on him before. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Who do you think you're working with? What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I teach people about angels." He said, "I know you do. Who do you think you're working with?" And I didn't know what to say. And he said, "You're working with the one you don't tell anybody about." How do you know? Who is this guy? So I picked up my tea from the bar and I walked off. And he said, "And by the way, stop being so nice." I walked off to my friend. I said, "I have to stop being so nice, and I have to start working with the angel that I don't tell anybody about. I tell them about them all." She said, "No, you don't." I said, "I do. I've got 7 archangels and I'm telling them all about it." She said, "No, you leave one out every single time because you don't like his name." big moment for me, stranger, telling me I had to start working with Metatron. Then I become involved in the Essenes. Any of you familiar with the Essenes? The father of whom was Enoch. Enoch became Metatron. What do I do now? I'm an officiator and a minister with the Essenes, chair of the Association of the Essenes in the UK. How interesting is that? So, even though I never dreamt in a million years that was going to happen, I must have been working with that energy, but I just didn't know. I just didn't know. So, very often we think we're doing something, don't we? We're actually not. We're doing something completely different. My job now tonight, in this short time that I have, I'm finishing at what, 9 o'clock, 10 to 9? What time? About 9. Is I would like for you to have a practical resource to take away tonight. Because even though you might be interested in all of this stuff, there might be stuff that I talk about that you don't agree with. This is my truth. This is my work. This is what I do. This is my career. This is my life, if you like. But it might not resonate with you. That's absolutely fine. Anything I say you disagree with, you can either talk to me about later, I won't be offended, or you can leave it here. That's fine. But what I would like you to take away are some practical things that you can try, that you can use, that are useful, that are down to earth, that are grounded, and that you can connect with the angels without any of the flaky stuff.
Totally.
I am so fed up of people saying to me, oh yes, I believe in angels, I find feathers everywhere. That's lovely. That's really lovely. I was once doing a Mindful Spirit event, not too far from here, in Milton Keynes actually, and I was at Milton Keynes and I had a lovely time a very long time ago, and I had some lovely little feathers all around the side. Those beautiful white feathers that somebody had clearly collected specially to tie on a wire and sell, and I had them round because I thought that would make my stand look pretty. And a lady came to me and she said, are they real? And I said, they're real feathers. But are they real? And I said, yes. They're real. Well, I've been to a workshop, she said, where the lady told us which ones were real angel feathers and which ones were birds' feathers. And I thought, this cannot be true. Poor thing. She must have misunderstood, but I wasn't going to tell her anything other than, I'm not sure about that. So she said, yes, if it's white, but it's got a tiny little grey tip at the end. That is, and I finished her sentence and I said, seagull? I'm still here, even though the daggers, she broke pretty sharp. But you see, there is a lot of confusion. You have to be careful. You know, we are an embodied spiritual being in a human form having a human experience, and we need our feet firmly on the ground. Otherwise, we could be spun around and around and around and fall flat on our face. One of the things I love to say to people, and most of the things, especially a weekend workshop or longer, where we're going to be covering lots and lots of different things, is imagine you have brought with you a beautiful glass fruit bowl. And all of these new ideas are like exotic fruit. Pop it in your fruit bowl, and have a look at it and wait. And take those bits that you fancy one bit at a time, because we all know what happens if you eat a whole bowl of fruit at once. And you will end up with spiritual indigestion, and nothing will stick, and it will go straight through, and it won't do you any good. In fact, it might give you some pain. You know, there is very, very, very strong on this whole idea of spiritual emergence. Sometimes sometimes we go through our spiritual development a little bit too fast because we're so keen and we're so enthusiastic and there's so many amazing things to try. And unless we process it gradually, we can go into spiritual crisis. And then we need help. We need help to try and bring us down again and sort it all out. And part of that is because we are living in this amazing time when we can find out about anything at the push of a button. And then if we're not careful and we're a little bit too gullible, we can believe all of it all at once without doing a little bit of further research. Is that not right? I'm certainly guilty of it when I first started. Everything was exciting. I went around evangelising everything. Look at this, everybody's got to try this, do this now, this works, and it doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't. I've now discovered I do have a light energy, I do have a light vibrational energy. I'm talking about light, I'm not talking about I'm light, I'm not. I'm 5'10" and very heavy, I'm not light. But my vibration is a light vibration, and so I can't do shamanic drumming. It doesn't suit my energy. It's wonderful, but I can't do it. It takes me to dark places that take me a long time to come back from. I haven't discovered how to do that, so why would I want to? See what I mean? I've kind of found my niche. I've found that I love the Essene way, which are the angels of the Heavenly Father and the angels of the Earthly Mother, and together that makes sense for me. I love working with the angelic energies, I love the wisdom, I love the feeling of protection, I love the amazing healing energy that you get with working with that. I love the inspiration. I love the energy. I love that. It's fabulous. So I found it now. I don't need to go. It's lovely to listen to the drumming. I love all the ethnic and fabulous stuff that other people do, and I'm very happy for them to do it. And now I don't need to try it again. So all I'm saying is, be careful. And so what I'm saying is my stuff, but you don't have to go along with it all. Just take from it what feels right. Does that feel comfortable? For those of you that haven't worked with me before and don't know quite what to expect, good. I do think that, you know, some of us have a memory of something else that cannot be explained by evolution. And I don't think it's any coincidence now that the stars are getting nearer to us, and we're discovering that we are just some tiny, 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 tiny little particle of a huge universe. And within that, we are just a particle of something greater. And the whole idea that angels are just like human beings that arrive because they've got wings is something that belonged to the Middle Ages, because we now know its energy and we know we can call them in. We really can call them in. We haven't got time to do this now, but let me just tell you about a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant exercise to do with a friend or a partner or a child. It's brilliant. You're standing in front of one another and you close your eyes and one of you decides who's going first, and you say either stay where you are, or step into my aura, or step back. But you don't open your mouth. You say it with your mind. We did this at the weekend, and the whole room were all standing around going, don't believe it. Because that's how powerful we are. So people are standing about a metre apart, and I'm watching everything because I'm a facilitator, and I've got people going like this, or I've got people going like this, and all their partner was doing was saying, step closer into my aura, or step back out of my aura, in their mind. And that was happening all over the room. Absolutely phenomenal. Now that's just the powerful things we can do with our own intention and our own thoughts. And bearing in mind that the whole of the universe is energy, and the angels are energy, vast, huge, like seas of energy, not one angel, just masses of energy. So when you call that force into your aura with the power that you have as a human being, we so underestimate our own power. Our minds are phenomenally powerful. This is why we have to be careful what we wish for. And so we'll call that energy in. And you know, one of the chapters in this book, The Loving Archangels Speak, one of the archangels explains how it works. And he says that on the thought that goes out with the breath, the angels hear that prayer, actually. And they answer quicker than the in-breath. It's just that we've forgotten how to hear it. It's amazing, isn't it? But they answer everything. They act on everything. We just have to relearn and remember how to bring those feelings closer to us. We have to learn how we teach as an individual. We have to learn whether we hear messages or we feel messages, or we need to know whether we're clairaudient or clairvoyant or whatever it is, or clairsentient. We feel. You feel, don't you? We feel pressure. Feel. Some of us are empathic and just get a really nice warm feeling or a sense of knowing. So the biggest thing I want to say to you, I'm going to reiterate that working with angels is not fluffy, it is huge. The energy of those angelic beings, when you call them to you, they come to you, they come closer to you. You may not see them if you're not visual, or you might see a glance of something or a flicker of something. And don't tell yourself it's nonsense or it's just your imagination. Just make a little note of it somewhere and see if it happens again when you're thinking similar thoughts. Or you might wake up in the middle of the night. Just know something that you were seeking an answer to. So keep a journal next to you. Don't write it down. Don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss it. Act upon it. For years and years and years and years now, I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to listen. I've been trying to do it. I'm a working person, just like everybody else. I am trying to listen to myself because I know stuff. And I'm given messages. And then if I don't act on it, I always wish I had. So it's kind of beginning to trust. It takes years and years beginning to trust. But the biggest thing that I can say to you as a final parting shot is that you can trust. Because we all have these beings around us. And it's not just one or two of us, it's everybody. And we can trust, and they do hear, and they do act, and they do assist. And all we have to do is listen and watch and get the signs. It takes ages. You have to practice. You just have to practice. Just like anything else, you can't pick up a saxophone or a guitar and suddenly start playing. You have to practice. It's a muscle like anything else. And the other big thing that I want to say to you is that we are all light. We are in the light. We are light beings. You've only got to say something to somebody that makes them feel good and watch their eyes ignite and the light come from their eyes. Or look at a child when they're laughing. The light in their eyes. So it's about turn that light up. Don't let anybody else turn your light off. Turn that light up. Because we are so loved. There is no such thing as a bad day in the angelic realms. They love you. Absolutely love you. They don't know anything else but love. And they love us. It's only the human beings that have kind of taught themselves not to feel it for some reason. So it's just to remind you that working with the angels is being that light, turning the light up, shining the light, seeing the light in everybody, and learning to remember again how loved you are. And that's all I want to say, really. So thank you for listening. Thank you.